Good morning. Hello, my name is Lucretia Roca, and my topic is on slavery and gender and slave resistance. First, we'll be doing a brief background of slavery in the Bahamas. Many enslaved persons in the late 18th century were forcibly removed to the Bahamas, along with white displaced people from Bermuda and Barbados looking for land grants. By 1731, enslaved Africans or Creoles represented 40% of the New Providence populace, 22% of the Eleuthera populace, and 5% of the Harbor Island populace. While it was stated that 40 to 50% of the enslaved persons on Jamaican sugar plantations were enslaved females in the late 18th century, gross birth rates did not reflect this relative equality among the genders. Our first point is gender division of slave labor. Although slavery affects men, women, and children, there are particular roles that are gender specific. Enslaved women held positions of leadership within the slave plantation communities. Enslaved women worked in the fields or worked in the enslaver's home. Our second point is black femininity. Such relationships with masters were one of the many ways enslaved women gained an opportunity for gender treatment. Generally, enslavers made youthful single slaves the objects of their sexual interest, notwithstanding that they did now and again assault wedded slaves. It additionally empowered them to hope for a superior personal satisfaction, particularly if they burdened their enslavers' unwanted children. Our third point is black masculinity. Black masculinity was similar in ways to female sexuality, as men were being demasculized. All things being equal, it mirrored a Monetarian rule rationale. Emasculation set aside the frontier, government cash sent execution required repaying enslavers. Our fourth point is slave reproduction. Enslavers gave little consideration to the conceptive job of enslaved women. Abided the pressure to build the usefulness of enslaved work affected all kinds of people. Enslavers in certain areas began to foster works on in regards to enslaved women to expand the slave populace, bringing about sexual double dealing of enslaved females. These practices made struggles that turned into a significant component that inspired the obstruction of female slaves. Our last point, slave resistance. Enslaved persons resisted in many ways. Some of them turned into the mistresses of their enslavers or wedded a liberal individual in the desire for acquiring opportunity for them as well as their children. Slave resisted because of being burnt out on the treatment of the enslavers exposed them to, as well as they would flee from plantation and more. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.